Hey Nikki, it's Coach Adams. Just wanted to take some time and go over your video that we got of you at the hitting clinic. And I know that your thumb was hurting you and you had that blister. And so we'll keep that in mind as we break down this video. But this is a pretty good video. You did a good job on a lot of your swings. So as we get started here, the very first thing that we're going to look at is, remember, we talked about those elbows and shortening our track, because we don't want a long track, we want a short track, so that when we swing our bat at whatever speed we're swinging at, it takes us a shorter amount of time to complete our swing, so that we can catch up to fastballs and all of those types of things. So as we do that, we want to remember the first thing that we worked on was the back elbow. You remember the noodle drill? And that was on keeping the back elbow in. And as you get ready here and you start your swing, this is where we talked about slot, putting that back elbow into the slot. And we can see here there's a little bit of space between your elbow and your side. Let's keep looking, especially right here. By this time in your swing, that elbow should be closer in. I shouldn't be able to see that wall behind you right here, because your elbow should be blocking my view. So get that elbow in there a little bit earlier, and that will help keep your track shorter. As we go through, that elbow really starts working out, and now we can see it's bent, because there, and then your back arm is there. So that elbow is good. That's bent. It's keeping that track short, and then through contact, it's bent again, and there we go. Now we're going to look at that front elbow and see what that looks like. So here we go again. You're going to start your swing. We're going to be looking right here at that front elbow, okay? And you start swinging, and it's a little bent right there. It's a little bent, and right here we don't see as much bend. This is something that you might want to work on. There's not a lot of bend in that elbow, and there's even less right here. I mean, it's still bent a little bit, but then right there, it's almost a straight line. So there's not a whole lot of bend in our elbow anymore, and then at contact, it's almost all the way straight. And that is something that's hard to do, and I understand that, but we want to keep that elbow in, because remember, we're talking about the difference between a short track and a long track. And when that front elbow gets locked out, especially like it started to all the way back up here in your swing, it's going to cause you to have a long track and a long swing, and it's not going to allow you to hit the ball as quickly as you would if you had a short track. So there is one thing that I think we can see here, and especially right here. Remember, we talked about your side and how I shouldn't be able to see that gap right there. Well, your arm, your arm has already started to lock out right here, and it's making it hard for that back arm to stay in and to get into the slot. So really work on bending that front elbow when you swing, and keeping those hands close to your body and those elbows in close to your body, because remember, we're trying to create a short track when we swing. One other thing that I noticed in your swing, and again, I know that your hand was hurting and you were focusing on that, but I do want to remind you to make sure that we rotate our hips. If we look right here in your swing, good rotation, and we can tell there's good rotation because look up here at your bat. See how it's all blurry? We can barely even see it. Right there, blurry and blurry. But watch your hips. So hips turning, 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 good, turning. All right, and see how there wasn't a lot of turn? The thing I'm looking at right here is this white stripe on your shirt. See how much it moves? It's moving compared to that line I just made, moving. Now watch on this next click. It doesn't move very much. And so that means our hips have stopped turning, and that was right before you hit the ball. And so we're starting to lose some power, or we're not generating as much power as we could. Especially after you hit the ball one click, you start going back the other way. You see that? See that white stripe on your shirt? It's going back the other way. So rotate all the way through the ball. Turn those hips, turn those hips, turn those hips, because we don't want to lose out on those rotations, because look how much your hips are rotating. Boom, that white and yellow stripe has moved closer. It's moved a lot closer. It's moved a lot closer, and now we're not going to move forward nearly as much. So we've stopped rotating the way we were at the beginning of the swing. So that's something for you to really focus on. Those two things is keeping that front elbow bent and keeping those hands inside as you're swinging, and then also making sure we rotate all the way through our swing to finish out. Well, thanks for coming out to the hitting clinic, Nikki. We had a great time working with you, and we hope to work with you again in the future.